Hi folks. Hey, it's November 22nd, 2011, and on September 2nd, 2010, I was sitting in my car that I'd made payments on for 3 years, my brand new car, less than 25,000 miles, an '07 Chevy Aveo, with my park pass down off Sunrise Boulevard at the American River Parkway. Legally parked, and had made it through the summer heat, and there was a young couple next to me that were evidently going to raft, and I had fixed a sandwich in my car with the doors closed. That's a crime in America, because I've already explained a little bit about this individual. I'm the victim. That gets sued. So, and so what happened was a sheriff unit pulled up behind me, blocked me in, and I thought for a second I should lock the door. Well, come to find out, this guy opens the door. His name is Officer Bland. I think it's badge number 1333. He opens the door, and he goes, "You're eating a sandwich." I looked up at him, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm eating a sandwich." "Well, we got a call, and I was like, "Well, he goes, "I need your ID." And I said, "Well, what's your probable cause?" He says, "I got it, believe me." And then I said, "Well, now what?" And he said something, and he basically told me what it was, and I was like, I didn't have a chance to do nothing after that. I was just like, my jaw dropped, and I was like, "You got to be kidding me." I mean, it's kind of like someone coming up to you and go, "You've just robbed 20 banks. You're an evil, evil person, and you killed 5 people. What do you think you're going to do? You're going to freak out, aren't you?" I mean, hey, this is Nazi America. You don't get a trial. Fuck you! Alright, so what happened was I never resisted anything. I'm sitting in my car, and he puts my arm around to my back, and I get out voluntarily and go with him. And he pats me down and puts me in the back of the sheriff's vehicle. And I was like, "Hey, there's no heat, there's nothing, well, come on." And the window's down, and I'm looking at this gal who's made a false call on me. And I'm going, "Hey, you gotta be kidding. You're out of your freaking mind. You are out of your mind. You are delusional, and your imagination is perverse." And I'll leave that at that, okay? So the fire department comes down because I tell them I'm disabled. They clear me for the beating. Sac Metro Fire. You can go see the documents. And that's not my first encounter with bad firefighters, because I've done a written complaint before about the EMT people. Because I'm disabled and I'm 46, they wouldn't give me a ride to the hospital before when I requested it. So I was having a panic attack. So we get down to the station, we're standing in line, and he looks at me in the eye, Officer Bland, and says, "I hate what I'm about to have to do." And I was, I was pretty manic. I was upset, and very upset, as you'd imagine. So we go I'm the first one in line, the first one to go in, and there's people being arrested. People being arrested. They're being brought in line, and I'm the first. And because this had happened at 11:30 in the morning. Who'd have thought? 11:30 in the morning. So he says, "Will you let us check your blood pressure?" And I was like, "No." He says, "Oh, all right, we'll get up." And I got up out of the chair, or they were going to take my blood pressure, and he put the handcuffs on me, and then the nurse put the cuff thing on, And so he's doing these finger pain things, if you can see, where he's crunching and making pain, okay? And the nurses there are going, you know, I can imagine what they're thinking. They're thinking, oh shit. So he does this pain thing, and I like buck like that, you know, because I'm like, ow! And the nurse backs up. The nurse was totally gone. All of a sudden, it was like time had stopped. It was so bizarre. It was surreal. And then the torture started, and he had evidently backed up and jammed me full blast into a bookcase that's uneven. And I thought ribs were busted and everything. I've never experienced such violence in my life. Never. That was the most violent act ever done to me. Ever. And it was by a sheriff's deputy. But that wasn't all. That was only the very beginning of the torture. Because after that, about three of them came in, rushing in, and they started the refrigerator press on me with the legs and that, and they carried me from around there into the hallway, and where officers were waiting. Now there's 4 or 5 of them, and they're doing the fridge, and then there's 5 more behind the corners, and they all jump out and gang tackle me. Gang tackle is torture under the Geneva Convention. And all I got is shorts on, no shoes. I've walked, and don't forget that, this is what happened. I ended up walking the whole time I was there barefoot. In urine, feces, vomit, you name it. Drunk tank, and so forth like that. So, basically, at this point, I've been gang tackled and thrown on concrete with all these people over me, beating the hell out of me and doing the press. And I just said I knew in my heart I was going to die. And so I prayed to the Lord. I said, Lord, you know I love you. And that was what I said. And I said that because I really believed I was going to die. I've never experienced such violence in my life. And so then from there, then they moved me over into which wasn't very far. It's just I'm in the hall. Then there's the photo room and the fingerprint that's done through satellite now. They threw me in the corner with my feet up in the air and my chin on concrete, and they were beating the hell out of me. And then one guy put his boot around my head. I have head abrasions, by the way, from this. I got photos of everything. I had head abrasions, bruises. He like a Nazi, puts his boot on your head and rubbed it around. How did he know to do that? I want to know. I really do. Because my face was in concrete and I was bloodied and everything. And then they carry me up and lift me up in front of the photo thing and further degrade me and say, look at, and smile. You know, they said, look at the camera. You know, and it must have been a fake photo, but all this is on video. And then I think the fingerprinting was later. That was after the jab and whatnot. And so that was police brutality. And they threw me in the drunk tank, and then I guess that was for, half an hour? And then they went and jabbed me after I'd been tortured and coercion by saying I'll be 3 days upstairs. And this is a jail where UPI.com said in 2005, FBI opened up an investigation and defense attorneys. They said there is a sadistic element within the Sacramento County Jail. Yeah, no kidding. And, they've settled a whole bunch of cases out of court. They've been investigated a couple times by the FBI. And I showed up for court. The DA didn't prosecute me. There was no evidence. I didn't do anything. But they had ran through my car. Everything was in the trunk. And I had lost my car because I can't afford to make financial mistakes. I'm glad they can. I'm really glad they can. I really am. At whose expense? Supposedly taxpayers' expense. And I'm a vet. So veterans out there, you got something to look forward to, don't you? Like Nazis, American Nazis. So they released me. I was in where all the guys were at in the tank to leave. That's, you know, when they had put me in there before the jab too. And so they said, well, don't you want to go back into that room so you can leave? Well, what do you think? What do you think? I got on the phone in front of all these guys that were in there, and I requested to see a doctor. I said, I'm hurt, I need to see a doctor. They refused. The guys in the jail got mad, and I said, hey, listen up, guys. Don't worry, you're going to get out at the time you need to get out. So lay off me. And they did. But then, you know, of course, I told them the whole story, and there was people in there who had heard my screams from, I think, all the way around the first floor. I don't know if it was on the second floor or what. We were in the basement, but they were heard everywhere. And those were torture screams. So when I was released at about 8:30 at night, I borrowed a cell phone and called the fire department. It's still a Sac Metro Fire Department. They showed up. They saw that I was bleeding and everything, and they were like, do you have medical insurance? And I was like, yeah, here's my Medicare card and Medi-Cal, or, you know, Medicare. And so they wanted to make sure they got paid because times are rough. And they were like, where'd you come from? Right inside there. They said, the jail? Yeah. Okay, well, we got to go in there and ask them. So twice Sac Metro Fire messed up. They didn't touch me. They put they put the blood pressure thing on, put me on the cart, and that was it. They took me to Sutter. I thought I was going to UC Davis. Sutter didn't take care of me right away. I was like, man, this sucks. I got no shoes. It's at like 10 o'clock at 9:30 at night now. 10, going on 10. I've been refused medical care at Sutter now, and I was given wrong directions to walk to UC Davis emergency room. They had me going way out another way. So I'm totally confused. I only got sunglasses. It's dark out. And I walked to the emergency room. I was seeing at 1 in the morning finally. And an officer came in from UC Davis Police and took statements and stuff and did a timeline to make sure that it was Sheriff's Department, the Sacramento County Jail, that did what they did to me. And all that was confirmed. There is a report by him with a number. That's there as well. And he wasn't happy about that, I can tell you right now, and neither have my doctors at UC Davis been happy about any of this. My neurologist really didn't want to see the pictures, but she's seen them. And she's a brain surgeon and specialist in Huntington's chorea that runs in my family, and Parkinson's. So I'm going to leave it. I've got all the documents. I did my own attorney work, really. But of course, you know, I don't have the abilities to get into court and whatnot. And I did all I could as a disabled person. And that's where it stands right now. Nothing else has ever happened. I mean, I've been harassed, you know, because every time I get stopped now, I didn't have a trial or anything. I showed up for court, and what they told me was, they said, you're a nonviolent person, and there's no evidence. I've called them a few times. And so they had a year to try me. They didn't. I still requested the police paperwork for that day, and they say that this stupid, incoherent, delusional, wild imagination, perverse young lady, for her, she's a victim. So I can't get the police report ever, I guess. I want to sue. I want to know who did that to me. Besides all the officers, I want the video. And I want that video on YouTube. And I want it to go viral. You like UC Davis, people being pepper sprayed? You ought to see what happened to me. That ain't nothing. That's a cakewalk. Oh, being felt up by the TSA? That's a cakewalk. Oh, you got a house? And you've got a warrantless search? That's a cakewalk. Come on. Alright, well, I made my point, and I thank you so much for watching. Thank you. God bless you. Bye.